What's up, guys? It's JTB Gaming here, and today we have the 18th episode of our Cambridge United Road to Glory. And to start things off, we have gone on and signed Joao Felix for $84.3 million. We've also signed Kylian Mbappe on a free contract. Next, we look at the UEFA Team of the Year. We had 3 of the 4 defenders in Cucurella, Jansen, and Hendricks. We had 3 of the 4 midfielders in Gordson, Lopez, and De Jong. And we had 1 of the strikers in Joao Felix, who we just signed. We also made it to the final of the Carabao Cup, where we will be facing Liverpool. We now travel to Wembley Stadium to face Liverpool in the Carabao Cup final. Liverpool will be lining up in a 4-3-3 false 9. Their team definitely could be better, however, they still made it to the final, and our former player Hansen is playing their right wing. We will continue to be lining up in this 4-3-3 defend, as we have not made any changes except for Brown being in for De Jong, and Joao Felix will be starting at striker. In the 35th minute, Gordson is played in behind the defense. He shoots, Alisson blocks it, but it falls right to Joao Felix, who puts it in the back of the net to put us up 1-0. In the 54th minute, Joao Felix plays Gordson in behind the defense. He turns his defender and then curls it around Alisson to put us up 2-0. In the 68th minute, Liverpool have the ball in the edge of our box. They then play to their striker, who puts it in the back of the net to make the score now 2-1. At full time, we would go on to win 2-1 thanks to goals from Joao Felix and Gordson. The players now line up for the trophy, as our captain Alan Brown, who is retiring at the end of the season, will be the one to lift the Carabao Cup. Alan Brown now grabs the trophy as we lift our first piece of silverware in this episode, and hopefully there will be more to come. This is the team picture as Cambridge United are Carabao Cup champions. In the round of 16, we had an easy tie against Napoli, and we would go on to win 5-2 on aggregate. In the quarterfinals of the Carabao Cup, we've been drawn against fellow Premier League side Arsenal. We would go on to knock out Arsenal of the Champions League as we beat them 4-1 on aggregate. In the semifinals, we've been drawn against Real Madrid as we head to the Santiago Bernabeu for the first leg of this Champions League semifinals tie. Real Madrid will be lining up in a 4-3-3 false 9. Lunin is now one of the best goalkeepers out there, and Vinicius Jr. is also a world-class player, so those are the 2 players we will definitely have to watch out for. We will again be lining up in this 4-3-3 defend, as the only changes we have made from that Carabao Cup game is De Jong is in for Alan Brown. In the 32nd minute, Havertz has the ball. He plays Felix, who turns his defender and puts the ball into the back of the net to put us up 1-0. In the stoppage time of the first half, the ball is crossed in, it goes off the crossbar before it falls right to Vinicius Jr., who heads the ball in the back of the net to level the game at 1-1. In the 54th minute, Gordson is played in behind the defense. He beats his defender and then puts it past the goalkeeper to put us up 2-1. In the 71st minute, Real Madrid have the ball out wide. It is crossed but is deflected, and is then played back to Dani Olmo, who curls it around Diaz to make the score now 2-2. At full time of the first leg, we would tie 2-2, however those are 2 very crucial away goals. We now have the second leg of the Champions League semifinal as we host Real Madrid. We have not made any changes from the first leg. Real Madrid have made a couple of changes, however we are still going to have to watch out for Vinicius Jr. In the 30th minute, Gordson plays Havertz in behind the defense. He goes around Wan-Bissaka and then puts it past Lunin to make the score now 1-0. In the 40th minute, Joao Felix is played in behind the defense. He's 1-1 with the keeper and puts it past him to put us up now 2-0. In the 61st minute, Real Madrid have the ball in our box. They pass it around before they play to their player, who puts it past Diaz to make the score now 2-1. At full time, we would go on to beat Real Madrid 2-1 thanks to goals from Havertz and Felix as we advance to the Champions League final. We do have some bad news as Joao Felix is suspended for the final of the Champions League. In the Champions League final, we've been drawn against AC Milan. We now get into this Champions League final against AC Milan. AC Milan will be lining up in a 4-2-3-1. I do not recognize many of the players, however they still made it to the final of the Champions League, so they have to be a very good team. We will continue to line up in this 4-3-3 defend, as the only change we have made from that semi-final game against Real Madrid is Isaac is in for Joao Felix as he is out suspended. In the 16th minute, Lopez gets the ball, he plays it to Havertz, he shoots, but Donnarumma just gets his fingertips on it as he sends it wide. The ensuing corner is cleared away, however De Jong is able to win the header. Fabian plays it to Havertz, who plays Jansen, who passes it to Havertz, however Havertz just shoots it wide as we miss a crucial chance. In the 25th minute, AC Milan have the ball. They're working it on the edge of our box. Their player is able to get a shot off. Diaz makes a save, keeping the game at 0-0. In the 32nd minute, their winger has the ball out wide. It is then played back to their outside back. He plays it back to their defensive mid. The defensive mid is able to get the ball back. He takes a shot, but Diaz is able to save it. The danger is still not away before their right back misses the goal as we survive a possible goal-scoring opportunity. In the 37th minute, Havertz steals the ball. He plays Isaac. Isaac beats his defender. He winds up for the shot, but he puts it just wide. That situation could have been different if Joao Felix was in there. However, he is not, as Isaac misses a decent scoring opportunity. At halftime, it is still 0-0. However, it has not been a dull game as there have been chances for both teams. Looking at the match facts, we have had more shots, however we have had the same amount of shots on target. Possession has been very even, as this has been a very even game. AC Milan now make a substitution as our player who is out on loan, Jamal El Basir, goes in for them. In the 87th minute, we go on to make our first change as we take Isaac out and put Insadi in and move Gordson to striker as Insadi will be playing our right wing. In the corner right after that substitution, Gordson winds up, he looks to put it just at the top of the 6. Donnarumma clears it away, however it's not actually gone away. De Jong gets the ball. He then plays Upamecano, who plays Insadi, who shoots, however he just didn't have the power to put it past Donnarumma. After 90 minutes, it is still tied 0-0. Again, it is still a very, very even game as neither team has really had an advantage in anything, and this will most likely come down to one scoring chance that one team is just able to convert. In the 95th minute, we win the ball back. Fabian then gets the ball as he is able to dribble forward. He then plays Gordson in behind the defense. He beats one center back, however he is fouled by the other center back as that is not called, as we miss a chance. At halftime of extra time, it is still 0-0. AC Milan have started to take the slight advantage in the game. However, that is not a problem as we are a team who likes to sit off and defend a little bit. In the 119th minute, AC Milan have the ball on the edge of our box before Diaz is able to make a crucial save to keep us in this game. Off the corner, after that save by Diaz, Diaz is able to punch the ball away. However, AC Milan still have the ball. It is played to our lone player before he finds his teammate out wide before Diaz again makes another crucial save. At the end of extra time, it is still tied 0-0, which means we will be going to penalties. AC Milan were definitely pushing for that game-winning goal, however we were able to hold off. For the penalties, our order will be Lopez, then Fabian, then Insadi, then Gordson, then Havertz, then Hendricks, then Jansen, then De Jong, then De Ligt, then Upamecano, then Diaz. We have much better penalty takers than them, however it can just come down to a matter of nerves. Their player now steps up to take the first penalty. He sends Diaz the wrong way, but he hits it off the crossbar. Lopez now steps up as we look to put it in the bottom left corner. He sends the keeper the wrong way and converts his penalty to give us the 1-0 advantage. AC Milan striker steps up. He shoots and Diaz goes the right way, however he cannot completely save it. Fabian now steps up. He shoots, but he misses it off the post. Their next player steps up, and Diaz is able to save it. And Saldi now steps up as we look to go bottom left. The keeper is able to guess it right and save it. Diaz now has to save this next shot, but he doesn't have to as their player misses it off the post. Gordson now steps up for the penalty as we look to put it in the top right corner, and he is able to convert, meaning that if Diaz is able to save this penalty, we can win the Champions League. Their player now steps up, and he Panegas Diaz, but now it is all in the hands of Havertz as he can win us the Champions League if he is able to score this penalty. We will look to put it in the bottom right corner. He shoots, Donnarumma dives the right way, but he cannot save it as we go on to win the Champions League. At full time of the Champions League final, we would go on to beat Milan 3-2 on penalties after drawing the game 0-0. The players now begin to celebrate as we are now Champions League winners. This has been an amazing journey and it has paid off in the end. We've had some of these players just for a couple of seasons, but we've also had many of them for very long, so this is something that we all feel really good about. In just 9 seasons, we were able to take a team from the bottom of League 2 into winning the Champions League. As the players celebrate knowing that this is the true triumph of every club, we now line up to celebrate with the trophy as our captain, De Ligt, will be the one to lift it. De Ligt now celebrates with the team before he goes on to lift the trophy. He grabs the trophy, and then he lifts it as we are now Champions League winners. There is the team picture as Cambridge United are UEFA Champions League champions. Looking at the standings at the end of the season, we would go on to win the league as we had 100 points. We also won the Community Shield as we beat Manchester City 3-1. We also would go on to win the FA Cup as we beat Arsenal 2-1 in the final. Havertz tied for first with 4 goals in 3 games in the FA Cup, and Isak tied for second as he had 3 goals in 4 games. Cucurella tied for second as he had 3 assists in the FA Cup, and Havertz tied for third as he had 2 assists. In the Carabao Cup, we would beat Liverpool 2-1 in the final. And most importantly of all, we would go on to win the Champions League, beating AC Milan 3-2 on penalties. Havertz ended up tying for second with 7 goals in 13 games in the Champions League. Gordson would finish with the most assists in the Champions League as he had 6 in 13 games, and tied for second was Felix as he had 5 in 12 games. Looking at the players who made the most appearances for the club, Janssen made the most appearances as he appeared in 53 games, Fabian came in second as he appeared in 50, and Dendoncker came in third as he appeared in 49 games. Looking at our top goal scorers, Havertz finished in first with 31 goals, Lopez was in second with 29 goals, and Gordson finished in third with 20 goals. Gordson finished in first with assists as he had 18, Lopez finished in second with 13, and Havertz and Cucurella tied for third with 12 assists. Looking at the players who were able to keep the most clean sheets, Diaz, De Jong, Fabian, Lopez, and Gordson were able to keep 20 clean sheets, Janssen and Hendricks were able to keep 19, and Havertz was able to keep 18. Looking at our players with the highest overall, Gordson is officially maxed out as he is now a 99 overall. Felix, Havertz, and Lopez are all 93 overalls. Janssen, De Jong, Hendricks, and De Ligt are all 92 overalls. We did have a couple of players go down in overall, as Alan Brown went down 2 overall, and Dendoncker and Cucurella both went down 1 overall. We had a couple of players go up in overall, as Michaels went up by 6 overall, McAvoy, Mbeba, and Williams went up by 5 overall, and most notably, Diaz and Janssen went up by 4 overalls to make them as good as they were. Looking at our players who are worth the most right now, Victor Gordson is now worth $273 million. Lopez is worth $169.5 million. And Hendricks is worth $144.5 million. And Jansen is worth $142 million. Looking at the club financially, we are now worth $3.43 billion, and we are projected to be worth $4.54 billion. Looking at our overall managerial resume, we were only with Cambridge United. We won 5 league titles, we won 6 domestic cups, we won 2 continental cups. Our biggest win was against Middlesbrough in October of 2022 as we beat them 5-0. Our biggest defeat was against Manchester City as we lost to them 6-1 in January of 2025. Our record transfer fee was $160 million, and we earned a total of $7,440,000. We played 554 games. We won 392 of those. We drew 87. We only lost 75. We scored 1,099 goals while only allowing 517. Looking at the season specifically, the club wanted us to win the league title, which we did. They wanted us to win the FA Cup, which we did. They wanted us to win the Champions League, which we did. We also won the Community Shield and the Carabao Cup. We won 2 Manager of the Month awards. We did not win Manager of the Year. The record transfer fee that we paid was for Kai Havertz of $160 million. The highest transfer fee that we received was for Tammy Abraham of $74,900,000. This season we played 69 games, we won 54, we drew 12, we only lost 3, we scored 158 goals while only allowing 52. I hope you all enjoyed watching this episode. This will be the final episode of this series as we have gone on to accomplish everything we could as a club. I have started a new career mode, Road to Glory, with Grimsby Town, so if you want to check that out, click on the video on the screen. And it's JTB Gaming, signing off.